Hey world, it's your girl Miss LSG, and I am so happy that you tuned in today with us at Exclusive Media Exchange. As promised, we have the queen of insurance herself, who is a casualty insurance agent with Precision Insurance Agency out of Wyoming, Michigan, Miss Zena Patillo. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Miss LSG.
Thank you. How are you today?
I am well. It is sunny. We are all here.
Yes.
So it is a great day.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, hey, we've had our viewers on hold as well as myself because I know you are here to educate us on some upcoming changes that is going to be striking soon.
Yes,
soon,
ma'am.
soon. So let's talk about that. We're going to talk about the whole Michigan Insurance Auto Reform law for the layman.
Right.
Yes.
So what viewers may or may not know is insurance reform is coming. It's almost here. It is knocking at our door. It goes into effect July 2nd. And the Michigan Insurance Reform Act is going to change the way you can cover yourself for the PIP section of your insurance cover, auto insurance coverage. And PIP stands for Personal Injury Protection.
Thank you for breaking that down because I certainly was going to ask you to do so. So, with that being said, now, many states have the no-fault insurance. What makes Michigan different? What's different about what's happening in Michigan?
Well, Michiganders face some of the highest insurance premiums in the country.
Yes, we do.
They are high, but it is the best insurance coverage in the country, and that's why it's so high. So the difference in other states and Michigan is that we have unlimited PIP coverage.
Okay.
The PIP coverage covers work loss, it covers your medical. If you need someone to come and do your lawn because you can't do it, or some chores done, our unlimited PIP coverage covers all of that. It'll allow a caretaker to come in and do those things for you, as well as pay off your bills and replace some of your income. So other states don't do all of that. They have a limited PIP coverage.
Okay. And I missed the very important part because, like I said, there's the no-fault insurance law that's in all different states.
Right.
But with the insurance reform law in terms of the Michigan reform law, what basically does that state? What does that mean, the no-fault?
So right now, we don't care whose fault it is, we're going to pay it.
Okay.
We're going to make sure that you are covered with your PIP coverage.
Okay.
Well, after July 2nd, that's not necessarily so. If you can have an option for unlimited as you have it now, or you can select what personal injury protection is right for you and your family.
Okay.
But that comes with some changes. So you can go down to $500,000. You can go to $250,000.
Okay.
If you are on Medicare or Medicaid, you can opt out and not have any PIP coverage. But there's some things you need to consider.
Yes, what's the hidden?
Okay. What you may want to consider is, do I need it? Don't just, I think, Lakeisha, my purpose for doing this is because I don't want people to think cheap and yay. Because you can go down anywhere from 16 to 45% on the cost of your PIP coverage, and the PIP is the largest line item on your insurance. But there's some things you need to know. So let's say you and your two daughters are in the car. And we're assuming your daughters are underage.
Okay.
All of you get into an accident, and it's a bad accident. How much is it going to cost? How much will your medical bills cost? Is $250,000 enough?
Not for all three of us, probably not.
Is $500,000 enough? Will you, if the three of you are hurt, will your husband need help caring for you? These are things that you want to consider when you take that coverage. Also, but here's the other thing. You all have health insurance that will be primary.
Okay, so that kicks in first.
Yes.
Okay.
So then maybe you want to opt out or
Okay.
go take a lower PIP premium.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. So why all of a sudden now this law is changing in Michigan? What's brought about this change?
Well, Michigan insurance has been going up for the last decade, and it's to the point now where there are roughly 40% of Michiganders who can't afford insurance. That's an awful risk for me and you,
Absolutely.
for them and us.
Absolutely.
And so our legislation says something has got to give, and we're going to do whatever we can. And so this is the beginning.
Okay, so it's basically being put in place to kind of help control some of the costs and the expense for Michigan auto insurance.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So I'm happy that you're here educating us on this, because this is all, I hope the viewers are tuning in and listening and taking some notes, because some of these things that you're talking about, the PIP and all that, I bet none of you probably didn't know what that was.
Right.
Maybe a few of us. I did not know. I'm just going to tell the truth, because we just pay our premiums, and we just, we happy just to pay it. So
Right.
This is really good information. And so I just want to talk about, again, so basically we can save on our insurance by lowering our personal injury protection coverage.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Also, with the reform, is right now every vehicle has something called an MCCA fee attached to it. And that fee is $225. It's the Michigan Catastrophic Fund is what it is. Because people pay into that fund because you have unlimited PIP. So we got to make sure that there's money there to cover the people who needs it,
Right.
who need it. So, well, also with this reform, if you opt out of PIP coverage, you don't have to pay that.
Okay.
So that's $225. If you go for unlimited coverage, you still have to pay $100. No, I'm misspoken. I'm sorry. The catastrophic fund fee is being reduced to $100.
Okay.
So, and then some people may or may not have to pay it at all, depending on if they opt out or what their coverage level is.
Okay, that makes sense. So there's so much happening in the world right now. Is there a reason why the law is changing now? Is that connected to anything other than what you've already shared in terms of the cost?
It's not. Not. They've been trying to do reform for years, but it never would work out. So now they said, well, we can control this part.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Great. Well, you've talked to us a little bit how it's going to affect the cost of our insurance. So let's talk about this. So would this be on the premium end or the medical end of our insurance?
It would be on the medical premium end.
Okay.
So on your insurance, it's liability, and there's PIP, and there's tort. There are a bunch of line items that I know people don't pay any attention to. So it's on the medical end. But there are changes coming with the liability side as well.
Okay.
So best practice right now for Michigan is for you to have 300,000 coverage. That, and so now the standard coverage with your A-plus companies will be 250 to 500,000.
Okay.
So the Michigan minimum limit currently is $20,000. That's being raised to $50,000.
Okay. So just curious, because we have multiple vehicles, and I'm sure some of our viewers may have multiple vehicles or have their children that they're still carrying on their auto insurance. And so will we still get that whole, if you have the multiple lines of coverage, discounts, and things of that nature, is that changing anything with any of that?
It doesn't change anything with any of that.
Okay.
Our carriers want to reward you for trusting them to insure more than one vehicle and mess around and throw your home in it. That's another huge discount.
Okay.
But since you bring that up, okay, so let's say you and your husband, let's say it's you and a significant other. And your domestic partners Okay, in a domestic, okay, let me not do that way. I'm trying not to say anything that'll get us misconstrued. But let's say you have your insurance will cover you for primary,
Okay.
okay? But your husband's won't.
Mm.
So on his vehicle, you will have the option to put unlimited on him
Okay.
and none on for you. You can opt out totally because
Wow.
you have it. So you can make those kind of
Okay.
exclusions for your household.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you something else that's really important that many times the community won't answer this question. We'll say, well, how many people are in your household? Nobody. Nobody. Well, do you have any children? But they don't drive. Well, how many children do you have? Well, your agent is trying to get the best view of what is going on in your household so they can best protect you. So what would happen if you and little Bobby Jr. and little Lucy in the car, you have an accident, Bobby Jr. and little Lily are hurt.
Mm-hmm.
What would happen? The insurance company would be totally within their right to say, you didn't tell us about little Bobby.
Yeah.
We're not paying for Bobby. Where Bobby come from?
Absolutely. That's correct.
Or sometimes you have live together partners.
Mm-hmm.
Your live together partner is in the car.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't tell them about your live together partner. And the liability difference is not that much sometimes for you to have that person on the vehicle, and it sometimes can bring down your premium. You got 7 cars and one behind. Don't scratch that, sorry. You got 7 cars and one driver. Somebody, come on.
Yeah.
Just mention the people in the home so that folks will be taken care of.
Okay, that makes sense. So basically, we need to make sure that we are being, like going to the doctor.
Absolutely.
The doctor says, in order for me to properly treat you or diagnose you, I need you to be transparent and honest, and don't be talking about social drinker if you know you having a glass of wine with dinner every day. So yeah, that makes sense. That makes clear sense because only a person can help us if they know what we need to have covered.
And I don't know any agent worth their salt who wouldn't feel horrible.
Yeah, if that were to happen.
If we were not covering you properly.
Mm-hmm.
First off, we won't even, like if you come to our agency and ask for the minimum limit, we won't even cover you. We'll tell you you have to go somewhere else because I would be heartbroken. I know that if you all have to have a whole bunch of extensive medical treatment, that's not going to cover.
And as we're talking about coverage, so we're talking about the vehicles and things of that nature, but earlier on, you and I had a chance to talk before getting on the set about assets.
Absolutely.
And how do you make sure that you're even covered with that so that if this $300,000 or $250,000 does not cover an individual who will be now able to sue you.
Right.
How do you protect your assets?
Okay, thank you for remembering that. So what's going to happen, what's different about Michigan and other states, you have an accident, your insurance company takes care of it, you're done. There's some things that go on behind the scenes that they have to do, but you're done. It's nobody's fault, it's unlimited, you're done. Well, now there will be a lot more tort claims and people suing you. So let's say you opted for $250,000 in coverage. The medical expenses and the work loss and all of those things right now total $1 million.
Right. Yeah, and
$300,000
ain't gonna cover that.
Where's the rest of that money gonna come from?
Right.
But you have saved, you have put your money up, you have your 401k, you have some stock, you have your cottage up north and your toys.
That's all that
and
was.
I want them. I want them because I need to cover little Bobby.
Yes.
Okay? So now I get to take your stuff. But you're like, wait a minute. I talked to my agent, and she taught me how to protect my risk. So I bought an umbrella. So I'm covered. An umbrella covers you in the event that you have something that's not covered. Okay. So they aren't taking your personal assets. And an umbrella, they range in cost. And all of the costs are individual based on what's going on in your life.
Absolutely.
So, but for the money.
Yeah. Because we get what we pay for.
One of the reasons I started doing this, I've been an educator my whole career. And I like the education piece of insurance more. And there are so many people who just don't understand that insurance is a financial product that is set up to protect your risk. So that's what we do.
Absolutely, and that's a great way of putting that. So with this whole change coming up, as you already mentioned, coming in July, which is just, man, shy of a month or so, not
Yes.
even a complete
Yes.
month away, what can we start doing to prepare for this change? And do we need to do anything before that date?
Yes, before that date, you should contact your health care provider to find out if they will cover you with, if they will be primary, will they provide the primary coverage in an auto accident. That's what you need to know from them.
Okay.
Also, review your insurance policy and see what's on there, and understand that there will be changes, and what do you want to change to, and how you'll do that.
Yes.
You may want to contact your agent and make an appointment, because we are going to be so swamped, and it's going to be the best time for us. We are going to absolutely love it. So contact your agent and make an appointment, and be nice to them, because the change is happening for everyone in Michigan at this time.
Wow.
So those are things that you can do to prepare yourself.
Okay. Good. Now you have something coming up that we definitely want to let the viewers know, because I know this was a lot of information. I had the privilege of chatting with her prior to even coming on, and I'm still processing and taking a lot of this information in, but we have something that's coming up on the June 17th. So I want you to talk about that, because this is huge, you guys, and what they're doing is great, because we talked about not just educating ourselves, but for our elders. If some of us have parents who are, of age, or our grandparents or aunts and uncles who may not be able to process all this information. If they're anything like my mother and uncles and aunts and father, they just write checks and just pay their bills.
Right.
And, some of them know what they're paying for, but some of them don't. And especially those who may even have guardians, this is the time for the family to intervene and advocate on behalf of our elders in our household. So what do you have coming up where we can make sure we can get more information so we know how to be prepared for this thing?
Okay, so I was thinking, I said, well, I need for my customers to really understand this. The agents have been preparing for months. We've been getting information for months. I said, well, I need for my customers to understand. So I'm going to have a Zoom meeting for my customers.
Awesome.
Well, I said, well, the community needs to understand.
Yes.
So I'm going to have on June 17th at 7 o'clock a Zoom meeting. It's scheduled for an hour. It should only be about a half an hour.
Okay.
Explaining in a little more depth the details, the specifics of what options are available, letting you know what to expect when you get to your insurance agent, because there's forms for all of this now, and you have to sign off saying that this is what you agree to.
We need to know we signing.
Exactly. So, and thank you so much for mentioning our elders. Somebody has to take care of them.
Yes.
So if people could invite their elders, go set up Zoom, watch it with them, take some cake over, and have a little visit if you can. I know in this time of COVID-19, but somebody, put your mask on. It's not going to be longer than a half an hour, hopefully. And if it is, it's scheduled for an hour. So.
Okay, that's good.
But each one reach one.
Yes, there you go. And you guys heard it here. So June 17th at 7 p.m., we will have the information on the screen in terms of the meeting ID number and the password, so that you can tune in. And please be sure to like and share the information, because as she said, each one reach one. So it's not enough for just her to know this information and not share it with the world, and it's definitely not enough for us to know it and not make sure that somebody else doesn't know it either, because we want to make sure that we all win out here. So to our viewers, I want to thank you for tuning in. Miss Zena, is there anything else you want to leave us with? Any closing words or final words?
No, I just want to, first off, I am Zena Patillo of Precision Insurance Company. Please reach out to me if you don't have an agent, if you'd like to switch, or if I could just provide you with information. I'd love the business, but I just want you to understand what it is that you're signing, and to help you walk in wisdom as you build and sustain your wealth.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much again for allowing us to take some of your time and for educating us on something that many of us lack the education on. It's just something we know we're supposed to have it, we know we need it, and we just get, some of us we just get what we can afford and don't really know what we're paying for. And then when something happens, we don't, we're looking, we stuck. So, yes, so this has been awesome. Again, thank you guys so much for continuing to tune into Exclusive Media Exchange. We appreciate and love all of our viewers. Continue to stay tuned. We got more things coming up for you. Don't forget about the Zoom meeting on June 17th at 7 p.m. Again, we will have that meeting ID and that password information for you. Be sure to share and tune in. And until next time, it's your girl, Miss LSG.